Okay, good evening, students. Hope everybody is doing good. Let's wait for a minute for all the students to join. Okay, so yesterday we just touched upon calls in advance and calls in arrear. Today we are going to detailedly discuss about it and see the journal entries, how it is done. Okay, so two concepts: calls in advance. Second one is calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. Sir, what is calls in advance? What is calls in arrear? Listen to me carefully. Say 100 rupees is per share. So I split it into like this: 30 rupees on application, 20 on allotment, and 50 on first and final call. This is application, allotment, first and final call. So what happened is, I have received application for 10,000 shares. So that will be total 3 lakhs. Yes, okay. I allotted these people shares. Whoever has applied, I allotted the shares. The moment I allot, this 20 rupees becomes due. Correct or no? That is why we pass an entry: share allotment account debit 2 lakhs to share capital. Correct? Equity share capital. This is what we do. Yes. Correct? So what we do is, when the 2 lakh rupees becomes due on allotment, we pass an entry: share allotment account debit to share capital. Right? Yes. So what is this? Sir, this acts like an asset account because we are receivable. It is a receivable. Correct? Now what happens? Out of this 2 lakhs, 1 lakh is received. 1 lakh is, sorry, just a second. I'll put this example this side. Okay, it's okay. So what happens? Out of this 2 lakh, 1 lakhs is received. 1 lakh is received. So when I receive 1 lakh, what is the entry I'll pass? Bank account debit 1 lakh to share allotment account 1 lakh. Now look carefully. What was the debit of share allotment account? 1 lakh. Now what is the credit? 1 lakh. So 2 lakh, sorry, share allotment account was debited with how much? 2 lakh. Again credited with 1 lakh. That means what? Out of 2 lakh receivable, we have received only 1 lakh. Out of 2 lakh receivable, we have received only 1 lakh. That means another 1 lakh is receivable. Another 1 lakh is receivable. So what they say is, instead of carrying it, the balance of 1 lakh in share allotment account, you can create an account called as calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. So what do you mean by this, sir? Calls in arrear? calls in arrear means we have already made the call, but we have not yet received the money. So what I do is I will pass the balance amount in share allotment account to a new account called as calls in arrears. 1 lakh to share allotment account 1 lakh. Now what happens? Share allotment becomes 0. See, 2 lakh debited, 1 lakh credited, 1 lakh credited. Now that 1 lakh receivable has been shifted to some new account called as calls in arrears account. So what is calls in arrear account? Call in arrear account is nothing but we have already called them. Please pay the money anta, but they have not yet paid. So that amount will be shown in calls in arrears account. Calls in arrears account. So that means company has receivable. Company has receivable. So this calls in arrears. This is the journal entry to pass it to calls in arrear. Now on this calls in arrear, company can charge interest. Company can charge interest. Interest how much, sir? Interest at the rate of 10%. Interest at the rate of 10%. So company can charge an interest at the rate of 10% per annum. This is per annum. Okay. Suppose say this 1 lakh is called on 1st January 2026 and up till 31st March this is not yet paid. This is not yet paid. That means for January, February, March, can I charge the interest? Yes, I can charge the interest. So interest I am going to collect from whom? I am going to collect interest I am going to collect from whom? I am going to collect from the owners of the shares. Correct? Those owners are also called as members of our. Okay, owners of the shares are also called as members. Okay, so when the interest becomes collectible, what is the entry I will pass? Interest is an income. Correct or no? Interest is an income because we are collecting the income, right? Yes. So from whom you are collecting? I am collecting from sundry members. I am collecting from members because members include lot of people unidentified. So I use the word sundry. Sundry means different members. So I need to collect the money from members. So what is the journal entry I'll pass? You have receivable from whom? From members. So when there is a receivable, that account should go up. Correct or no? So it will be debit. Sundry members account debit. 2. Interest is an income. When income goes up, it will be credited. 2. Interest on calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. Now how much will be interest, sir? Interest will be 1 lakh into 10% into 3 by 12. Sir, why 3 by 12? See, 10% is an interest for entire year per annum. Per annum andre no? Annually you can charge 10%. But how many months have been passed? Only 3 months has been passed. So we'll collect interest for 3 months. So 10% is for 12 months. How much for 3 months? That is the formula. Okay. So that will be 10,000 into 3 by 12. 2,500. Now this will go to P&L account. So what is the entry to shift it to P&L account? Interest on calls in arrears account debit 2,500 to P&L. So this account is closed and the amount is shifted to P&L account. Now when we receive the money, when the money is received, what is the entry I'll pass? Where we receive in bank account. Bank account is an asset. When it goes up, it will be debited. Now sundry members receivable, no more receivable. So it has to be reduced to sundry members 2,500. Done. These are the entries for calls in arrears. Okay, so I have written the heading wrong. Okay. So these are your entries for calls in arrears. Please note it down. First thing first, why calls in arrear account was opened? It was opened because instead of carrying it in share allotment account, we shifted it to calls in arrears account. The moment you shift it into calls in arrear account, you can even collect the interest. So you can collect at max 10%. Sir, can I collect 5%? Yes, you can collect 5%. Sir, can I collect 8%? Yes, you can collect 8%. Sir, can I collect 12%? No, you cannot collect 12%. Maximum allowed is 10%. Clear? Okay. So these are the entries. So quickly take a screenshot. So little bit more zoom. Huh? Now you take. Okay. Now coming to calls in advance. Now what happened is, when will calls in advance come usually? Listen to me carefully. Say, I said 10,000 shares are issued at 100 each. So total 10 lakhs. Now what happened is, I received 12,000 applications. Now I told you yesterday we saw pro rata allotment, correct? Pro rata allotment. Yes. Instead of rejecting the entire 2000 shares, what I did is I did a pro rata allotment. Say for example, Mr. A applied 5,000 shares, but he got only 4,000. So this extra 1,000, I didn't reject entire 5,000 rupees. I didn't reject entire 5,000 shares which he applied. Instead, what I did, you have applied 5,000. No, I will allot you only 4,000. Okay, sir, fine. So, how much application money did A pay? Sir, A, while applying, would have paid 5,000 into 100, that is 5 lakh. Correct? But how much actually he should have paid? Sir, actually is 4 lakh. That means we have received extra money? Yes, sir, we have received excess money. We have received excess money. This excess money, instead of refunding, what I will do is, I will adjust it. I will adjust it with future calls. Okay. That means, have I received the money in advance? Yes. It will be. I called 20 rupees. How much? On allotment, I called 20 rupees. Right? Into 20. That is 80,000. He has to pay 80,000. But listen to me. We already have excess money of A by how much? By 1 lakh. We already have excess money of A how much? 1 lakh. How much is the money due on allotment? Sir, money due is 40,000 into 20, 80,000. Correct? When we already have his money, why will he pay us again? Correct or no? Why to ask him again? Right? So what I do is, this 1 lakh which was with us only, that we adjust against this 80,000. We adjust it against 80,000. After adjusting, what is remaining? Still excess which we are having is 20,000. Yes. So this excess is called as advance with us. Correct? It is advance with us. That means we have not yet made the call, but this money is lying with us. So this excess money, even this excess money, both wherever we are receive excess money is nothing but advance. Correct? That means it is not yet due. We have not asked that much money, but the member has already paid the money extra. And that has different reason. Why they will pay extra, sir? Because they had applied for 5,000 shares. We are issuing them only 4,000 shares. So that is why there has been excess. Clear? So this excess which we received is the advance. Advance towards future calls. Correct? We have not made the call, but it is towards future calls. So this advance is called as calls in advance. Calls in advance. That means I have not made any call, but still I already have received the money. So whatever future you are going to call, this will get adjusted. Just like how it got adjusted here. See, I had how much calls in advance? 1 lakh. 1 lakh was adjusted with allotment by how much? 80,000. You are understanding? So calls in advance will be opened here only. calls in advance, and this calls in advance was adjusted against allotment. After adjustment against allotment, again there is still balance remaining, that will again go and sit in calls in advance only. So calls in advance will be used against future calls. See, I had calls in advance of 1 lakh, future I made an allotment, so I called the money, so it was adjusted against that. Again in future, again they will make first call, second call, third call, it gets adjusted against that. Correct? So after making the allotment, I am having still balance of 20,000. Correct? So suppose this balance was on 1st January 2026 till 31st January, I didn't make any call. I didn't make any call. So interest has to be paid on this. Why? Because we have received the money advance and we are using it in the business. Correct or no? When we are using it in the business, do we have to give the benefit to the members? Yes. So what happens is interest allowed on calls in advance is at max 12%. Okay, 12%. It is usually 12% unless and until your AOA, Article of Association, tells clearly as to how much percentage you need to collect. If AOA is not telling anything, it will be considered as 12%. Clear? Okay. Now, we need to pay the advance. Correct or no? Yes, sir. We need to pay the advance. To whom? To the members. Correct? Sorry, we should not pay the advance. We need to pay interest on the advance. To whom? To the members. Why? Because members have paid us the money in advance. So whatever money they have paid to us, on that we have to pay the interest back to the members. Correct? Yes, because we are using that money in the business and we are earning the profits. So we have to give them that money which is not yet called but already with us. See, why we pay interest is, understand. When the money was not called only, they have already paid. And when they have paid it to us, do you think we will not use it in the business? We will use it in the business. We will use it in the business. Sir, anyhow, profits will be distributed to shareholders only, no sir? Correct. Profit will be distributed to shareholders based on the number of shares. But here, we are receiving the capital in advance, no? Which other members would have not paid. Only few members would have paid calls in advance, but other members would have not paid calls in advance. So, if you distribute the dividend, everybody will get equal dividend. But what about these people who have paid extra? For them, some other benefit should go, no? That is why we pay interest. That is why we pay interest. Clear? So, interest, when we pay to our members, it is an expenditure to us. Correct? So, when expense goes up, it will be debited. So, interest debit. To whom to pay? We are going to pay to sundry members. Correct? To sundry members. Sir, how much we need to pay? 20,000 rupees into 20,000 was the excess money which we are having, into 12% into 3 by 12 into 3 by 12. Clear? Yes. So that will be 6,000. When we actually pay, what is the entry? Sundry members account debit. See, sundry members earlier was an obligation because we had to pay them. Now the obligation is getting paid. So when obligation reduces, liability reduces, it will be debited. And our bank is an asset. When we pay out of my bank balance will also come down. So it will be created. 6,000, 6,000. Now this will be transferred to P&L account. So what is the entry? P&L account debit to interest on calls in advance. 6,000, 6,000. Here, these are the journal entry for calls in advance. See, I understand why we are paying interest. Some people might ask why we are paying interest. Say, for example, A has applied. See, A, B, C. 3 people have applied. He has applied for 1,000. He has applied for 1,000. He has applied for 5,000. D has applied for another 5 plus 6, 7, 3,000. So what happened is I allotted him 3,000. I allotted him 1,000. I allotted him 1,000. And I allotted him only 4,000. See, in this case, we will not receive any advance. Correct or no? Why? Sir, 3,000 applied. We received 3,000. We allotted also 3,000. So 3 lakh was due. 3 lakh was received. Here also 1 lakh due. 1 lakh received. Here also 1 lakh due. 1 lakh received. Here 4 lakh should have been received, but we have received 5 lakh. So did we get 1 lakh extra? Yes, we got 1 lakh extra. But rest of them didn't pay anything extra. They didn't pay anything extra to the company. If we give them dividend, then dividend will be distributed based upon the number of shares. But if you observe carefully, this A, B, C, D, out of this, only A has paid extra. B, C, D has not paid anything extra. So everybody is getting dividend same only. What is the use? Correct? What is the use of A paying extra money? Of course, he didn't have any intention to generate some benefit out of it, but he has given, no? So his company should give something back to him. That is why they pay interest on calls in advance. Clear? Please take a photo, screenshot quickly. Yeah, take it now. This one you leave it. Only take this. This is not our topic as of now. Yesterday only discussed. Okay. Done. Please take, if you are not taken screenshot quickly. Okay, done. That is your calls in arrear and calls in advance. So these are the journal entries which we have seen. These are the journal entries which we have seen. Okay. So the calls in advance received is a kind of debt of the company. Why? Because we have received the advance. Can he ask us the money back, whatever advance is given? Yes, he can ask us the money. So if he can ask us, it is like an obligation to us, correct or no? It is an obligation to us. So it is a debt, means it is a liability. The company is liable to pay interest on the amounts of call in advance from the date of receipt of the amount till the date when the call is due for the payment. See, here what happens is, till 31st, this is 31st March, till 31st March, we have paid the interest. Now what happens? On 1st April, we made first call. Then interest will not be paid from 1st April. Interest will not be paid from 1st April. Interest will never be paid from 1st April. Why? Because first call was made and the advance money will get adjusted against first call. So till this entire money gets adjusted, we'll pay the interest. Once this money gets adjusted, we'll not pay any interest. If you want to take the screenshot, take again. This date has been changed. This is 31st March 2026. Okay. Okay. Till the date when the call is due for payment. Generally, the articles of the company specify the rate at which interest is payable. If the article does not contain such rate, table F will be applicant and company liable to pay 12% per annum. So they have to pay minimum 12%. If article of association doesn't say anything, then 12% per annum is the minimum which you need to pay. Clear? Okay. So interest payable on calls in advance is a charge against the company, profits of the company. That means it should be shown in P&L account. See here, we have transferred the interest paid to P&L account. Clear? Okay. And where will it be shown? The calls in arrears, the calls in advance. The calls in advance, the liability to sundry shareholders is to be treated as outstanding liability and should be shown under current liabilities in the balance sheet. So calls in advance will not be shown. Calls in advance will not be shown under share capital. It will be shown under current liabilities. Careful, please note it. Make a note out of it. So they are just given a summary table. Company to accept unpaid share capital, although not called up capital. Payment of dividend in proportion to amount paid up. A company may, if authorized by its article, pay dividends in proportion to the amount paid up on each share. So usually the dividend should be announced on fully paid up capital. fully paid up shares. If company wants to pay even on partly paid up shares, they can do it, but it should be authorized by articles. Articles andre article of association. Calls in advance, you can collect calls in advance. See, calls in advance can be collected only if it is authorized by articles of association. Only if it is authorized by articles of association. If articles of association says no calls in advance, then you have to refund the money immediately. Clear? Debt of the company until calls are made and amount already paid is to be adjusted. Arises when number of shares allotted is less than share applied for. I told you, no, they applied for 5,000. I am giving only 4,000. Clear? When calls are made, calls in advance account is ultimately closed by transferring to relevant. Calls in advance will be shown on liability side. Does not become part of share capital. No dividend is paid on calls in advance. No dividend is paid on calls in advance. Interest on calls in advance. Period from the date of receipt of the amount till the date when call is due for payment. Rate of interest as per AOA or subject to maximum 12% per annum as per Companies Act 2013. See, when AOA doesn't tell anything, 12% per annum is minimum and maximum. If article of association doesn't specifically tell how much interest can be paid on calls in advance, 12% is the minimum and maximum. That means 12% ashte. Hechigilla, kadameno illa. Clear? If article of association says something, then we can pay according to that. Clear? Sir, now here you transferred it to calls in arrears, no sir? Here we received calls in advance, no sir? What is the journal entry we passed? Yesterday we have seen, but I am still repeating again. See, on application we received advance, right? Extra money, correct? So what is the entry we pass on application? First thing, bank account debit. Let's look about only A. Okay. How much we have received? Sir, we have received 5 lakh. Very good. 2, share application. 2, share application. How much? 5 lakh. Correct? Yes, sir. Now, second, allotment happens. Allotment happens. Yes, sir. Allotment. What is the entry you pass? Sir, I pass share allotment account debit. Share allotment account debit. Sir, how much was due? 80,000, sir. Okay. Then, can I use this also here only? Yes, sir. Share application 4 lakhs. Sir, why only 4 lakhs, sir? Why only 4 lakhs? Because out of this 5 lakh, I have allotted 4 lakh worth of shares. 1 lakh excess with us. Correct? Yes, sir. Correct. 2, share capital. How much? 4.8 lakh. Correct? Yes, sir. Now, how much was we crediting share application with? 5 lakh. How much was debited? 4 lakh. So, remaining 1 lakh, it needs to be transferred to calls in arrears. Yes, sir. So, what is the, sorry, calls in advance, not arrears. Calls in advance. Yes, sir. Correct. It needs to be transferred to calls in advance. So, share, 1 second. Share application account debit. How much was excess? 1 lakh. So, we need to transfer that to calls in advance. How much? 1 lakh. Correct? Huh? Yes, sir. Correct. Now, next what we do is, understand, we need to receive this money, 80,000. Correct? Correct, sir. We need to receive money. But we will not receive it. We should not receive also. Why, sir? Because we already have 1 lakh rupees excess. Correct or no? Yes, sir. We already have 1 lakh excess. So, what we do is, we adjust this calls in advance with share allotment account. So, what is the entry we pass? Calls in advance account debit to calls in advance account debit to share allotment account. 80,000, 80,000. Done. So, this is how you keep passing the entries. You pass, you reduce or you transfer your calls in advance account balance to the relevant call. Relevant call means whatever you are called, that much. So, again, what happens? So, let's say first call was made. First call was made. Suppose first call was made for 30 rupees. Correct? Now, what is the entry that 30 rupees first call entry? Sir, 4,000 into 30 will be 1.2 lakhs. Correct? And what is the entry, appa? first call account debit 1.2 lakhs to share capital 1.2 lakhs. Correct? Yes, sir. Correct. Next, what happens? Bank will be received. Will receive in bank. Yes, sir. Bank account debit will receive only 1 lakh. Why, sir? Only 1 lakh. Already we have 20,000 excess. Correct or no? Share calls in advance account was having a balance of 1 lakh, out of which we adjusted 80,000. What is the remaining balance? 20,000. So we will not receive 20,000. We will receive only 1 lakh. What happens, sir? The balance has to be adjusted from calls in advance account debit 20,000 to first call, to first call 1.2 to first call 1.2 lakh. You are understanding how we are transferring this calls in advance to the relevant call. Here also we transferred, here also we transferred. We are continuously transferring the calls in advance to our relevant call, whatever is made. Clear? Yes? Okay. That is your journal entries for passing it to relevant call. This is what is explained here. Okay. Let's solve one example to make the things clear. Example 1. GH and company issued 5,000 equity shares of 10 each at par. So they are telling there is no premium. Payable rupees 2 per share on application, rupees 4 per share on allotment, rupees 4 on first and final call. So there is only one call, first and final call. The shares were all subscribed and all the money due was received. One shareholder holding 200 shares paid the call money along with the allotment money. The amount was subsequently adjusted. Give the journal entry. So what they are trying to tell you is, see, our issue price is 10. Our face value is also 10. So no premium, nothing. Correct? Yes, no premium, nothing. Now, how this is split, sir? How the issue price is split? 2 rupees on application. Allotment 4. Then first and final call 4. Total 10. Correct? Yes, correct. Now, what happened is they are issuing how many shares? 5,000 equity shares. Okay. So 5,000 equity shares. When the application is received, what is the entry we pass? The entry we pass is bank account debit to share application. Correct? Now what is the entry? 5,000 into 2 is 10,000. Correct? Next. Allotment happens. Yes, sir. Allotment happens. What is the amount due on allotment? Share allotment account debit. How much? Sir, 5,000 into 4, sir. 20,000 to 1 second. We'll even take this also. We'll transfer this all to share capital. Correct or no? Share application account debit 10,000 to share capital 30,000. Right? Yes, sir. Now, this money has to be received. Yes, sir. We have to receive this money. Bank account debit to share allotment account. Yes, sir. No change. Correct. But here the amount changes. Sir, why amount changes? See, we have received, how many applications were received? 5,000 applications. Correct. So what has happened is, on this 5,000, 4 rupees is received anyhow. Correct? Correct, sir. Plus 200 shares. The person who is holding 200 shares, he has paid calls in advance. That means what? He has paid 4 rupees of allotment. Along with that 4 rupees, he has already paid money for the first call also now only. So he has paid on 200 shares, he had paid another 4 rupees. This 4 rupees belongs to allotment, that is anyhow due, he is paying it off. Along with that, he is paying another 4 rupees for first call now only. Understanding everybody? Yes. So that will be how much? 20,800. Share allotment account should be credited with only 20,000. Why? See, you are debiting only 20,000. That was the amount receivable. You have received 20,000. Sir, what happens to extra? Extra is calls in advance. Correct or no? That 200 shareholders, the person who is holding those 200 shares, he has paid us in advance. So it will go to calls in advance account, 800. Calls in advance account, 800. That's it. Next, what happens, sir? Next, first and final call. What is the entry? Sir, first and final call account debit. How many shares? 5,000 rupees, 4 per share, 20 to share capital 20. Use equity word. I am not used, but we should use equity or preference, whatever is applicable. Okay? Yes, sir. Now we have to receive money in the bank. Yes, sir. Now understand, out of this 20,000, that is 5,000 into 4, this is the money receivable, correct? But have we already received this advance? See, this is already an advance which should be adjusted against this. Why? Because we will no more receive that money in the bank account. Why, sir? Because we have already received earlier, correct or no? So minus 200 into 4. Minus 200 into 4. So that will be 19,200. Okay, sir, 19,200. But our first call and final call account is debited with 20,000. No, sir. What will happen to that? Nothing will happen. This extra 800 is sitting where? It is sitting in calls in advance account. You reverse that now because the calls has become due. So calls in advance account debit 800. Now total 20,000, 19,200 plus 800. So the balance will go to first and final call account, 20,000. Done. See, here we created 20,000, we are reversing 20,000. Only thing is, out of this 20,000, 19,200 is received in the bank account, 800 is not received in the bank account. Why? Because 800 was already received in the previous time only. In the previous time only. Clear? Everybody is understanding? Okay. So those are the entries. Please see. Whatever we have accounted, they are passed. Clear? Illustration number 3. New Look Limited issues 1 lakh equity shares of 10 each payable as follows. On application 4, on allotment 1, on first call 3, on final call 2. 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 2, 10. So there is no premium. Hey, hello. Sometimes they will directly give you it is issued at premium. Sometimes they will not tell you whether it is issued at premium or par. They will just say 10 rupees face value. You have to total this. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. So 10 is equal to this 10. So it is issued at par. Now, applications were received for how many shares? 2,60,000 shares. How much? 2,60,000. How many we are actually issuing? We are issuing only 1 lakh. But we have received 2 lakh. Of this, 10,000 shares were in this order. Were there in this order. This is a spelling mistake. Okay, you adjust it. This order anta or DIS anta use madidare. Okay, 4,000 shares in lots of 100 shares. So that means what? Sorry, not 4. 40,000 shares in lot of 100 shares. That means 40,000 applications for shares. And the number of shares applied is how much? 40,000. Okay, and it is in the lot of 100 shares andre eno. It is lot of 100 shares andre ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? 400 people have applied for the shares and every person is applying 100. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದನಾ? Lot of 100 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ share, whenever they apply for the shares, they are applying in a lot and the lot size is 100 shares. So that means if total we have received 40,000 shares, that means how many people would have applied? 40,000 shares divided by 100 shares per lot. So how many lots? 400 lot. So 400 lots. So 400 lots may be applied by 400 people, or it can be applied by less also. Sir, how less, sir? One person can apply 2 lot. Correct or no? So rather than taking it as people, let's write it like this. We can say it 400 lots. 400 lots. Clear? One person can apply for 2 lot. One person can apply for 4 lots. Some people can apply for only 1 lot. So total applied is 400 lots. Next, 120 shares in lots of exceeding 100 but less than 500 shares. So 40,000 was allotted in 100 shots. Like 1,20,000 shares were allotted in excess of 100 but less than 500. That means lot size was exceeding 100. Lot size was exceeding 100 but it was less than 500. Lot size was less than 500. 60,000 shares in lots of exceeding 500 but less than 1000. Same up, lot size. Okay. And the balance in lot of exceeding 1000. The balance was applied through 1000 exceeding 1000 lots. Lots and Rashtapa. See here, exceeding 100 below 500 andre some person has applied 300. Some person might have applied 400. Some person might apply 100. That is what they are telling. Okay. Not 100 will not come because exceeding 100, no. So it will be 150 shares in a lot. So this can happen. Don't worry, all these things are just for you to understand how it is applied. Next, so how many in total we have received? 40,000 we have received here. 1,20,000, that is 1 lakh total. 40 plus 1,20,000 is 1,60,000. 1,60,000 plus 60 is 2.2 lakhs. 2.2 lakhs, and 2.2 lakhs, they have given all the explanation. 40,000 were applied in the lots of 100, 1,20,000 applied in the lots of more than 100, less than 500, 60,000 applied in the lots of exceeding 500 but less than 1,000. They have not given the balance. The balance in lots of exceeding 1,000. The balance, how do we find out the balance, sir? See how many total application? 2.6 lakh. If you total this, what is the amount getting? 2.2 lakhs. That means the remaining 40,000 shares was applied exceeding 1 lakh shares. Sorry, exceeding 1,000 shares in a lot. Clear? So now they have given you allotment. How allotment was made? Application for 10,000 shares in this order was rejected. Applications for 100 shares in full. That means whoever has applied for 100 shares, that was fully rejected. Whoever has applied for 100 shares in full was fully rejected. Clear? Next. Application over 100 shares but not exceeding 500 shares. They have allotted 48,000 shares. They have allotted 48,000 shares. Sorry, 48,000. Okay. Application over 500 shares but not exceeding 1,000 shares. They have allotted 9,000. They have allotted 9,000. Applications over 1,000. They have allotted 3,000. Clear? I know it is pretty confusing. So what you need to do is, first till here, please read the question. Till here, you please read the question. Please calmly read the question. Understand what they are trying to tell you. If you don't understand anyhow, I am here to explain. But I want you to first understand. We have explained it, but still, when you read, it should be able to grasp more. Please read this. Aram se. Read twice. No issues. Take your time. This is the new way of giving the question by Institute. Very good. They have changed a little bit. Good. They have come up with a great way of presenting this question, because earlier it was pretty simple and easy. They used to give simple, but this little bit they have changed the question. Okay, let's quickly again go through the question. We will try to now solve it in the table format so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, yeah. Now let's again let's again try to solve it so that you get a better understanding. Now let's see like this. Let's write down all the figures here only. How many shares we are trying to issue? We are trying to issue 1 lakh equity shares at rupees 10 each. Correct? Yes, sir. Then what is the way this 10 has been collected? On application 4, on allotment 1, on first call 3, on final call 2. Okay? Yes, sir. Now let's split these things into the table. Applied shares, allotted shares. First we'll calculate that how much was applied, how much was allotted. Now let's read the question. Applications were received for how many, pa? Applications were received for how many shares? Application received for how many shares? 2.6 lakh shares. Okay. Of this, 10,000 shares were in disorder. 10,000 shares were in disorder. He'll ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ question. 10,000 shares were in disorder, and again they have given it here. Allotment was made as follows. Applications for 10,000 shares in disorders were rejected. Sir, hangandre ಏನು sir disorder? What do you mean by that? Disorder means it is not yet completed. The share applications are incomplete. The share applications are wrongly written. The share application are not fully completed, or some information is missing in the share application. So like that, we have received application for 10,000 shares which are not complete in full. That means there is some error in the application. Disorder andre you can write it down as error. Error in application. There is some error in the application. Okay. Now, so what they are telling you is whatever that 10,000 shares were in disorder, no, we are completely rejecting those applications. We are completely rejecting those applications. So did we allot any shares? No shares are allotted. Okay, very good. Second, next is 40,000 shares were applied in the lot of 100 shares. So how many shares were applied for? 40,000 shares. Now come down below. Allotment was made as follows. Applications for 100 shares in full, that is 100% 40,000. Sir, andre ಏನು sir? ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು complicated ಆಗಿದೆ sir? I am not understanding anything, sir. This is becoming very complicated. Listen to me carefully. See, they have told you, no, this 40,000 shares are allotted in, are applied in the lot of 100 shares each. Are applied in the lot of 100 shares each. So this part they are explaining like this. Application for 100 shares. Andre, they have only told you this 40,000 shares were applied in such a way that each lot is having only 100 shares. That means each application is having only 100 shares. Each application is having only 100 shares. They have only told 40,000 shares were applied in the lots of 100 each, 100 shares each. So one lot contains 100 shares. So that means what? this 100 shares, whatever people have applied, for them I am giving 100%. That means what? Application for 100 shares in full, that is 100%. That means whatever they have applied, I am going to allot them. Whatever they have applied, I am going to allot them. That is the meaning of this. The sentence is complicated, but you need to understand application for 100 shares in full, that is 100%. In full, sir, in full, sir. Allotment was made as follows. The allotment for application for 100 shares was accepted in full. This is what they are trying to tell you. So whoever has applied for 100 shares each, for them we are giving 100%. So what is the meaning of that? Somebody has applied 40,000 shares, they will receive 40,000 shares. Clear? Okay, sir. Next is what? Come down. Next is 1,20,000 shares were applied in a lot more than 100 but less than 500. So how many shares were applied? 1,20,000. Now come to the next page. There they have given 1,20,000 shares in lot of exceeding 100 but less than 500. So this 1,20,000, how they have applied? Some people have applied for 150, some people have applied for 200, some people might have applied for 400, some people might have applied for 499, but not 500. So it is between 101 to 499. People have applied between 101 to 499. Clear? For that they are given story below. Application over 100 shares but not exceeding 500 shares. See, this is the reference they are using. This sentence is there, no? This is the reference. The reference to what? To refer to this and to this. Clear? It is like a story, appa. They have given names. See, if 100 shares is one name, 100 to 500 is one name, then above 500, below 1000 is one name, above 500, below 1000 is one name. Understanding? So they are bifurcating like that. So applications received for over 1000 shares but not exceeding 500 shares, they have accepted how many applications? They have accepted application for 48,000 shares only. That means what? They have allotted only 48,000. But how much was applied? See, exceeding 100 but less than 500. How many share application we have received? We had received actually 1,20,000. 1,20,000. But how much they have allotted? Only 48,000. Clear? So what is the allotment? Only 48,000. Next, fourth one. Next story, 6,000 shares in lot of 500 but less than 1,000. Okay. Next, how much? 60,000 shares. Correct? Now they are giving explanation. What they are giving explanation? Applications over 500 shares but not exceeding 1,000 shares. That means they are trying to link this with this name, with this story. How much they have allotted? They have allotted only 9,000 shares. Next, applications over 1,000 shares, they have allowed only 3,000. Now, here how much? 3,000. Sir, here we don't know how much. Total this, no? You total this. This total should be 2.6 lakhs. Correct or no? This is applied shares. Correct? How much applied shares we have received? We have received 2.6 lakhs. Correct? So this total should be also 2.6 lakh. Now how much we are getting? Sir, 10,000 plus 40,000 is 50,000, sir. 50,000 plus 1,20,000 is 1.7 lakhs. 1.7 lakh plus 60,000 is 2.3 lakhs. 2.3 lakhs. So total is coming to 2.3 lakh. How much should be the total? 2.6 lakh. So 2.6 lakh means the difference 30,000 is nothing but this shares. Which shares? Lots exceeding 1,000 shares. Lots exceeding 1,000 shares. This one. Lot exceeding 1,000 shares. Clear? Lot exceeding 1,000 shares. This one. Here also they have not given. Here they have given only allotted numbers. Here they have not given applied numbers. That applied number can be calculated how? That can be calculated using. That can be calculated using total applications received was 2.6 lakh, out of which we have received the story of 2.3 lakh. The balance is nothing but 30,000 shares. Those shares were applied in numbers, in lots exceeding 1,000 shares per lot. Exceeding 1,000 shares per lot. They have not directly given you 30,000, but they have asked you to calculate the 30,000. There is one more way of calculating this. What is one more way of calculating this? See here. 1000 shares, application exceeding 1000 shares were allotted only 3000. Here they given number percentage 10%. What do you mean by this 10%, sir? This 10% is nothing but if you have applied 1 lakh, 10% of this were allotted. So now your number is 3000 into 10%. This is X. So X is equal to 3000 divided by 10%, that is 3 lakhs. One more way of finding. Even here also, same thing, you can find out. 9000 divided by 15% you do. 9000 divided by 15% you do, that will be 60,000. Here also, 48,000 divided by 40% you do, you will get 1,20,000. Okay? It means what? Whoever has applied for 1,20,000 shares, for them only 40% was allotted. So out of 1,20,000, 40% we allotted. Here also, 60,000 people have applied, 60,000 shares were applied, we are allotting them only 15%. Clear? Okay, now total this 40,000 plus 48,000 plus 9,000 plus 3,000 should become 1 lakh only. Should be 1 lakh, no matter what. Sir, why it should be 1 lakh? Hello, you are issuing only 1 lakh shares, appa. Yeah, no matter how many applied, but you will allot them only 1 lakh shares. So tell me how much I have received. It should be 1 lakh, but you just try and check it. It will be 1 lakh only. Next. Application money received. How much was received? We have to first find out that. Here, how much was received? Sir, 10,000 into, how much was due on application, appa? Can anybody tell me? It is 1 rupee? 4 rupees, sorry. 40,000. Here, how much did we receive? Sir, 40,000 into 4. Sir, 1.6 lakh. Don't tell me 40,000, we have to multiply this. No, don't multiply this. This is actual allotted. But while applying how much you paid, you can calculate using applied shares only. Okay. Here, 1,20,000 into 4. 4.8 lakhs. 4.8 lakhs. Here, 60,000 into 4. How much 60,000 into 4? Please calculate 2.4 lakhs. Here, 30,000 into 4. 1.2 lakh. Total we have received 2 lakhs, 6.8, 6.8, 7, 8, 8, 10. 10.4. Total application money received. Okay. But how much was the application money actually due? How much was application money actually due? Sir, actually due andre ಏನು sir? Actually ಅವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು? How many shares they have allotted, to that extent they should have paid. Correct or no? How many shares they have applied, to that extent they should have, not applied. How many shares has been allotted? Only that much was the application portion which was due. But because they have applied more, they have paid more. Correct or no? But always remember, application money is restricted to how much? How much of application money is transferred to share capital, appa? How much of application money is transferred to share capital? How many shares we have allotted, that much we will transfer to share capital. Remaining, either refund it or we will adjust it against future calls. Correct or no? Remaining, either refund or adjust it against future calls. Correct or no? If you have received more application money, we will either refund that excess application money or we will adjust it against future calls. Correct? How do you find out we have received more money? Well, how do you find out is simple, sir. The number of shares actually allotted into application money. Correct? So, how many was application money? How much was the share allotted here? 0. 0. So, no application money should be kept with us. Why? Because we have not allotted any shares. So, we have to refund all the money which we have received on this. Clear? Second, how many shares was allotted, sir? Sir, 40,000, sir. How much was due? 4. So, 1.6 lakh is due. Clear? Next. How much shares we have allotted? 48,000. What is due? 4 rupees, sir. That is 48,000 into 4. Can anybody? 1.92 lakhs. Next. Here 9,000 allotted, sir. So actually we should have received money, or we should transfer the money on 9,000 shares to share capital. Correct or wrong? Remaining what will happen, sir? Sir, listen to me carefully. They have applied for how much? Sir, they have applied for 60,000 shares. How much money we have received? We have received 2.4 lakhs. But is this entire 2.4 lakh going to my capital? Answer is no. Entire 2.4 lakh will not go to my capital. Why it will not go to capital? Because we have allotted only 9,000 shares. So whatever is allotted, only to that extent will go to share capital. Remaining, sir, remaining, either you refund it or adjust it against future calls. Correct or no? Yes. So 99,000 into 4 is nothing but 36,000. Next, 3,000 into 4 is equal to 12,000. Total this 2.6, 12, 2.6, 2.6, 2.6. Okay. 4 lakhs. So if you look carefully, how much application money we have actually received? 10 lakh 40,000. How much application money will actually be transferred to share capital? Only 4 lakh. So remaining 6 lakh 40,000 should be, in that certain portion has to be refunded, certain portion will be carried as calls in advance. Calls in advance. Correct or no? So balance application money. Balance application money. Balance application money. Here we will not have any balance application money. Why? Because we will refund this. We will refund this entire 10,000. Why? Because we have rejected entire application money. So we will reject it. We will reject it. So whatever application money was there with us balance, we will refund it. We will refund it. So anything will still remain in the company? No, nothing will remain in the company. Or you can write down one more column, refund column, just for you to more clear. Refund. Here, how much will be refund? 40,000. Here, nothing. No refund. Why no refund, sir? That will be adjusted. Adjusted against what, sir? Adjusted against future calls. So how much we have received? 1.6 lakhs. How much is actually due? 1.6 lakhs. Any difference? No difference. So there is no balance. Here, 4.8 lakhs we received. How much were actually allotted, or how much was due? 1.92 lakhs. Remaining 2.88 lakhs will be adjusted against future calls. Here 2.04 lakhs. Here 1 lakh, 1.08 lakhs. 1.08. Clear? This total will be 6 lakh. This is nothing but our calls in advance. This is calls in advance. This is refund. Clear? Calls in advance, and this is refund. Okay? A table is not done yet. We need to continue. Now allotment happens. Allotment happens. How much money is due on allotment? Idu mugitappa. This is done. This is the story of this is done. This story is done. Why? Because we are refunding. Mugiti. This will not come again. So you leave this here blank. Next, allotment. How much was due on allotment? Can you please check the question? 1 rupee on allotment. Okay, great. 1 rupee on allotment. So how many shares were allotted? 40,000 into 1. So that will be 40,000. Here 48,000 into 1. That will be 48,000. Here 9,000 into 1 is equal to 9,000. Here 3,000 into 1. That will be 3,000. So total allotment money due. 1 lakh. 1 lakh. How much? Yes. Okay. Money received in bank. Money received in bank. Will we receive any money on this? No. Why? Because the shares itself is rejected. Will we receive any money on this? Yes. Why? Because we don't have any excess money with us. Any excess money is not there with us. Any money we will receive on this? Nothing. On this, nothing. On this, nothing. Why, sir? We already have a balance. Correct or no? There is already a balance application money. So that is why we will not receive any money. Clear? Will not receive any money. Okay. Now, after adjusting it against this allotment, what is the balance still remaining? Here, no balance. Here, no balance. Here, what was the balance remaining? 2.8 lakh. Out of this, 48,000 will be adjusted against allotment. So, what will remain? 2.4 lakhs. Here, what was the balance remaining? 2.04 lakh. What is the amount due? 9,000. So, what will remain? 2.4 lakh minus 9,000 is 2.95 lakhs. 2.95 lakhs. Here 1.08 lakh, in that 3,000 is adjusted against balance. So what is remaining? 1.05 lakhs. This is again nothing but our calls in advance. See, here we usually don't transfer it to calls in advance because we first adjust it against allotment, then we will transfer it to calls in advance. Here we definitely transfer it to calls in advance. Clear? Okay, please note down this table. Take a screenshot, whatever suits. Still, we need to continue. It is just half we have done. Only half has been done. Only half is done. Remaining has to be continued. Okay. Now, look here very carefully. How many shares are actually allotted here? Only 9,000 shares. Correct? Only 9,000 shares. See, on 9,000 shares, what is the total amount which we will going to collect? 10 rupees each share. So, total 90,000. Correct? Working note. 1. How much we have already collected? On application, we have already collected how much? On application, we have already collected 36,000. Then on allotment, how much we have already collected? On allotment, we have collected 9,000. So total, we'll minus this directly. 45,000. Remaining is how much? 45,000. So for this 9,000 shares which we have accepted and allotted, how much is the total amount that needs to be collected? The total amount that needs to be collected is 9,000 into 10 rupees each, 90,000. Out of which we have already collected 30,000 on application, 9,000 on allotment. How much is the balance collectible? Balance to be collected in future calls. How much? 45,000. Correct? Yes, sir. Correct. What you are trying to prove, sir? Wait, hold on. I'll tell you what exactly I am trying to prove. Next, this one. How many? 3,000 shares. Correct? 3,000 shares. How much should we receive? 3,000 into 10, sir? 30,000. Okay, very good. How much we have already collected on application? How much we have already collected on application? 3,000 into 4. That is 12,000 we have already collected. Good. Next, on allotment, how much did we collect? Sir, 3,000 into 1. That is 3,000. Okay, good. So total 15,000 is remaining. Balance to be collected. Correct? Huh? Correct, sir. Now, the moment of truth. What is the moment of truth, sir? The moment of truth is this one. The moment of truth is this one. Sir, what do you mean by moment of truth, sir? See here, how much money is still balanced with the company? 2.95 lakhs, correct. What is the overall money which we need to adjust in future? See, out of this 9,000, here, you please put it working note number 1, working note number 2. See, how much money is due for 9,000 shares? 90,000, correct? Yes, sir. On that, 30,006 is collected? Yes, sir. 9,000 is collected? Yes, sir. See, after collecting, after application money due 36,000 and after collecting 9,000, what is the balance remaining? The balance remaining is 2.95 lakhs. How much is the balance remaining? 2.95 lakhs. How much is the actual balance which we need to collect from them? 45,000. But how much balance we are actually having? 2.95 lakhs. This is the balance which we need to collect. But what is the balance we are having? $2.95 lakhs. Correct or no? At max, how much you need to collect? 45,000. But how much you are having? 2.95 lakh. Don't you think you are having excess money? Yes. So what you need to do? Refund the excess money. So what we need to do? Minus future calls to be adjusted. How much? 45,000. Remaining 2.5 lakhs will be refunded. Clear? Yes. Am I taking the wrong figures? Oh, wait. Sorry. My mistake, guys. Sorry. This is the wrong figures. What was the balance application money? 2.04 lakh minus 9,000 is how much? 1.95 lakhs. Error, calculation error. It was a calculation error. $1.95 lakhs minus 45,000 will give you 1.5 lakh. That is your refund. Why we are refunding it, sir? Because what is the use of keeping it with us? What is the use of keeping it with us? Sir, we can adjust it in future call. Correct, Appa? We can adjust in future call, but future call is due of only 45,000 rupees. But how much balance you are having? You are having balance of 1.95 lakhs. What is the use of keeping 1.95 lakhs when you are having only 45,000 to be repaid? Sorry, 45,000 to be used against share capital. Only due is 45,000, but you are having a balance of 1.95 lakhs. What you will do with that? You can't allot shares to that. How much you can allot shares to? 45,000, because you have allotted only 9,000 shares. That excess money of 1.95 lakhs has to be refunded. Correct or no? Why? Because out of 1.95 lakhs, 45,000 is for future. Okay, adjust that. After adjusting how much excess you are having? 1.5 lakh. What you will do with that 1.5 lakh? You have not allotted any shares for that 1.5 lakhs. The maximum shares you have allotted is 9,000, and on that 9,000 shares, the maximum amount yet to be received is 45,000, but the balance which is remaining with you is 1.95 lakh. So this 45,000 has to be reduced out of 1.95 lakhs. And whatever is remaining has to be refunded because there is no use of keeping it with us because there is no future for it. We can't allot any shares in the future. Same thing here upon. Balance with company is equal to how much is that balance? 1.05, no? 1.05 lakhs minus future calls to be adjusted is how much? Only this 15,000, correct or no? So what is remaining? 90,000. Refund it. We need to refund it because we can't do anything with that 90,000. Clear? Yeah. So that is this working refund. Okay. Yes, sir. Done. Table will still continue, guys. Hold on to me. Next, first call. First call is made. What is the money due on first call? First call. How much is first call made for? 3 rupees. Okay, 3 rupees. On this, we won't receive anything. On this, 4,000 shares, sorry, 40,000 shares into 3 rupees, 1.2 lakhs. Here, how many shares were allotted? 48,000 shares. 48,000 shares into 3 rupees. That will be 1.44 lakh. Here, 9,000 shares into 3. That is 27,000. Here, 3,000 shares into 3 rupees. That is 9,000. Okay. This is the first call amount which is due. Comes to 3 lakh. Sir, how did you arrive at 3 lakhs? Simple, no? 1 lakh shares into 3 rupees each. First call received in bank. Nothing. Here we will receive it in the bank. Here we will not receive anything in the bank. Why? Because we only have the advance. Here nothing. Why? Because we only have the advance. Correct or no? Next. Balance in calls in advance. What is the balance remaining? Sir, the balance remaining 0, 0. Here, what was the balance remaining? 2.44 lakh, out of which 1.44 lakh is adjusting. So what is remaining? 96,000. 96,000. Here, 1. See, out of 1.95 lakh, we refunded 1.5 lakh. So what is the remaining balance? 45,000. Out of that 45,000, 27,000 will get adjusted. So what will remain? 18,000. 18,000. Here, 6,000. Why 6,000, sir? We had 1.05 lakhs, out of which 90,000 refunded. What is remaining? The remaining balance is only 15,000. Out of that 15,000, 9,000 is adjusted against first call. So balance remaining is 6,000. Clear? Okay. So the total will be 1.2 lakhs. Next. Final call. Final call. Nothing is due here. Here 40,000 into 2. 40,000 into 2 is equal to 80,000. 80,000. Correct? Here 48,000 into 2. 96,000. Here 9,000 into 2. 18,000. Here 6,000. Sorry, not 6,000. 3,000 into 2. 6,000. Final call received in bank. Nothing. 80,000. Nothing. Nothing, nothing. Sir, why nothing, 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 sir? Balance is there, no? Adjust it. Balance is there, no? Adjust it. Balance is there, adjust it. Whatever balance we have, we will adjust it. Remaining, we will collect it. Now, what is the fresh balance remaining? All the balance will become 0. Now, balance calls in advance balance. Zero, 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 zero. Clear? Yes. You understood why we refunded this money, 1.5 lakh, because we were actually had to collect only this 18,000 and this 27,000 put together. We needed only 45,000 with us. That is why we refunded 1.5 lakhs and 45,000 we kept it with us. Clear? Okay, now the table is ready, working note is ready. Now we can pass the journal entry. First journal entry, appa, when we actually receive the money. Bank account debit to share application account. Look here. How much we have received? Applied shares, how much? We have received total 2.6 lakhs. Correct? 2.6 lakhs shares applied. How much application money we have actually received? Sir, we have actually received 10 lakh 40,000. Correct? 10 lakh 40,000. Correct, sir. Next. Allotment. What is the entry on allotment, sir? Equity share allotment account debit. How much you have allotted actually? Only 1 lakh shares. 1 lakh shares into how much was the application money? If I remember correctly, application money 4. 2 equity share capital 4 lakhs. Correct? Now, we need to transfer this also to share capital. Correct or no? This also has to be transferred to share capital. So, what is the journal entry? Share application account debit to equity share capital. How much, sir? Don't go to table and do lot of calculation is not required. It is a simple logic. How many shares were allotted? 1 lakh into what is the application money? 4 rupees. Sorry, guys, here it is not 4 lakhs. Allotment money which we have to receive is not 4 lakhs. It is 1 lakh into 1 rupee each on allotment. So it is 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Here it is 4 lakh. Don't use any rocket science apart. Don't go back to table again and again. All these things can be solved here only. Table ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು refund amount ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲಕ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ refund ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. Okay? Next. This equity share allotment has to be received in bank account? Correct, sir. It has to be received in bank account. Bank account debit to equity share allotment account. Okay? Yes, sir. Now, have you received any money on allotment? Check here. On allotment, have we received any money in the bank? Here. I should have written it here only. I'll just write. Allotment money received in the bank. This column. Allotment money received in the bank. See, always look at the bank money received. Okay, that is important here. Then first call received in the bank, then final call received in the bank. Okay, This is important column. That is why I have written it separately. How much money you received actually in the bank? Sir, I received only 40,000. Very good. Write it down. 40,000. Okay. 40,000 you received in the bank? Yes, sir. I received 40,000 in the bank. Sir, but I need to receive 1 lakh rupees, correct? To share allotment account. It should be how much? 1 lakh. But how much you have actually received? Only 40,000. Sir, balance ಏನಾಯ್ತು sir? Balance ಏನಾಯ್ತಾ? Balance, see here. How much was due in share application money? How much money you have received in share application money? 10 lakh 40,000. But how much you are transferring to share capital? Only 4 lakh. So we have balance in share application money which can be used to adjust it against allotment money. Correct or no? So share application account debit 60,000. If you didn't understand it, come to the table here. See, how much was allotment money due? 1 lakh. Correct? 40,000 is received in the bank. Then what happened to remaining 60,000, sir? Remaining 60,000 was adjusted with balance application money. Remaining 60,000 was adjusted with the balance application money. That is why if you see here 2.88 lakh minus 48,000, the balance was 2.4 lakh. Clear? So we adjusted our application money for allotment. Okay. Next. Refund. We need to refund. Yes, sir. We need to refund, sir. How much we need to refund? How much we need to refund? Sir, one is that 10,000 shares which were rejected. Correct? That is one. Second, don't you think we need to refund this also? Refund. This also need to be refunded and this also need to be refunded. So both of this needs to be refunded. Correct or no? Yeah. So total 40,000 plus 1.5 plus 90. Here it is total is how much? 1.5 plus 90, 2.4 lakhs. So 2.4 lakhs plus 40,000 is 2.8 lakhs. So where we will refund it from? That excess is sitting in application money. So we will debit application money and we'll refund it from there. $2.8 only, no? 40,000 plus 2.4, 2.8 lakhs. Yes. 2 will refund it from our bank account. We'll refund it from our bank account. Or there is one more entry up which will make you understand more easily. So I'll pass that entry only for your understanding. So how much share application money was with excess with us now? Share application money account debit. See, how much share application money received? Sir, we received 10 lakh 40,000. Okay, very good. We received 10 lakh 40,000. Out of which, sir, 4 lakh is transferred to share capital here. Yes, 4 lakh will be reduced. Sir, and we are transferring certain amount to share allotment account. Why? Because we have received excess. Okay, very good. So can we reduce this amounts because this has already been adjusted against share capital and adjusted against allotment money receivable? Yes, sir, we can adjust that. So what is the new balance remaining? 10 lakh 40,000 minus 4 lakh 60,000. Can you just check? 10 lakh 6 lakh 40 minus 60, 5 lakh 80,000. 5.8 lakhs. Now, in this, certain portion will go to calls in advance. Correct or no? Calls in advance. To calls in advance. How much, sir, calls in advance should go? You have only already prepared this thing, no? Calls in advance balance should be how much? You have only prepared already. Yes? Wait, hold on. But this calls in advance only, you are going to refund something. you are going to refund something, correct? So what is the total of this calls in advance? So 2.4 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 second, 2, 3, 5, 5.4 lakhs. And out of that, you are refunding 2.4 lakhs. Hey, hello, everybody. Balance with the company was 5.4 lakh, out of which you are going to refund certain portion. How much you are refunding? Total 2.4 lakhs. Along with that, you are even refunding this 40,000. Yes or no? Correct or no? So total, first you put in calls in advance. How much is the calls in advance balance? Sir, calls in advance balance was 5.4 lakhs, sir. Okay, very good. Out of which 2.4 lakhs will be refunded. Okay, so what is the remaining calls in advance? The remaining calls in advance is 3 lakhs, sir. Correct? So put the money in calls in advance. Okay? Yes. What happens to the remaining, sir? Remaining will be transferred to their account. That is, it will be refunded. How much, sir? 40,000 plus 2.4 lakhs. Sir, where did you get this 40,000 and 2.4 lakhs? Here. This 40,000 refund and this 2.4 lakh refund. So put together it is 2.8 lakhs. Matching a debit credit? Yes. Refund and transfer to calls in advance. Refund and transfer to calls in advance. Clear? I know it is confusing, it is little bit difficult, but if you understand this correctly, it is easy. Only thing is that table is very important. You need to understand. See, this 5.8 lakh, how did you get, sir? Simple, sir. How much did we create earlier? 10 lakh 40,000 we created earlier. How much did we debit? We debited 4 lakh. So what is remaining? 6 lakh. Again, we debited 60,000. So 10 lakh 40 minus 4 lakh minus 60. Sir, what is this debit? I am not understanding that only. Sir, we have received excess share application money, no? That we are adjusting against our allotment account here in this table. Application money due 1.6 lakh, 1.92 lakh, 36,000. After that, there was a balance with us. Allotment money, we have to receive 40,000, we have to receive 48,000, we have to receive 9,000, we have to receive 3,000. But how much we'll actually receive in bank? We'll receive only 40,000. Why, sir? Remaining this 48,993, we are already having excess balance. So we'll adjust it against that balance. So that adjustment is itself is this 60,000. Clear? And this 60,000 adjustment is nothing but this 3. 48 plus 9 plus 3. 48 plus 9 plus 3. Clear? Okay. So this we are transferring to calls in advance. We are transferring it to refund. So refund of 2.898 lakhs and 3 lakh will be in your calls in advance. Okay. Next. First we'll pass all this journal entry. Then we'll come to the interest portion separately. Okay. Interest portion will pass the journal entry separately because I don't want to confuse these things along with the interest. Oh, okay. Next. First call. What is the entry? First call account debit. First call account debit. How much? Sir, 1 lakh shares into 3 rupees each. Very good. 3 lakhs. 2 equity share capital. Okay, good. Now you will receive the money in bank account. Yes, sir, I will receive the money in bank account. 2, first call will be adjusted. Yes, sir, first call account will be adjusted. How much? 3 lakhs. Correct? But go back. How much received did you actually receive the money in bank account? How much money did you actually receive in the bank account? Sir, we received only 1.2 lakhs. So bank will be debited with 1.2 lakhs. What happens to the remaining, sir? Sir, remaining is sitting in our calls in advance. That we will adjust it against calls in advance. To calls in advance. How much? 1.8 lakh. 1.8 lakh. Sir, how did you get that, sir? See, 3 lakh is the money due, out of which 1.2 lakh you are getting it in the bank. What happens to the remaining? What happens? Remaining will get adjusted from this balance. This after this, whatever is there, that balance. Clear? Yes? Okay. This 1.5 lakh minus 1.44 lakh. Why we are doing minus here? Sorry, minus 27,000. Why we are minus? Because we already have the money of them with us. So why we will collect again from the bank? We will not collect again from the bank. So we will adjust it against the calls in advance. Clear? Yes? Okay. Next, final call. Final call account debit. How much? Sir, 1 lakh shares into 2 rupees each. So 2 lakhs to equity share capital 2 lakhs. Correct? Then we'll receive the money in bank account. Yes, sir. To final call account 2 lakhs. But how much will receive actually money in the bank? Here. We'll receive only 80,000. Correct. We'll receive only 80,000. So remaining will get adjusted in calls in advance. How much? 1.2 lakh. Now you check calls in advance. You check calls in advance. How much did we credit calls in advance with? See here. How much was the calls in advance balance we created? 3 lakhs. Out of that, here we adjusted how much? 1.8 lakhs. How much did we adjust here? 1.2 lakhs. 1.8 plus 1.2 is 3 lakhs. Adjusted. This we credited with 3 lakh. Now we are debiting it with 1.8, 1.2. So calls in advance is getting closed. All the accounts are getting closed. Your share capital also you can check. Now you can check your share capital account. Share capital account. How much is credited here? 3 lakhs. Correct. How much is credited here? 4 lakhs. How much is credited here? 1 lakhs. How much is credited here? 2 lakhs. So 2 plus 3 is how much? 5. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 1, 10. So total how much money you should have received for share capital? Here, in the beginning, 1 lakh shares of 10 rupees each is equal to 10 lakhs. We have received that much money. So all accounts are getting closed. Clear? Everyone? Yes? Now we will come to your interest part upon. Interest part. Interest on calls in advance. Correct? Yeah. Last, I will close that. Once it is done, we'll close. The sum will be done. Simple, sir. Calculation will be simple. Journal entry will be simple. Okay. How much? See, interest will be paid on calls in advance balance. Correct. So we received money excess in application. That money was adjusted against allotment. After allotment, whatever is remaining, that is transferred to calls in advance. Right? Yes, sir. Okay. So first, when did our calls in advance happen? Here. Here is the first time. Here is the first time we transferred it to calls in advance. Okay. When did we transfer it to calls in advance? On allotment. Okay. On allotment, calls in advance was created. Correct. When did the allotment happen? Allotment happened on 1st April 2025. On 1st April 2025. Correct. What is the allotment? 1st April 2025 allotment happened. Calls in advance was created. What is the balance in calls in advance? Calls in advance. What is the balance on that day? 3 lakhs, huh? 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs. Correct? Now, next, when did this 3 lakh be used against future calls? Calls in advance andre napa. We are going to use it against future call. So when was the first call made? First call made. When was the first call made? First call was made on 1st August 2025. So on that day, calls in advance balance was 3 lakh minus 1.8 lakh. So what was the balance? 1.2 lakhs. Okay, sir. When was the final call made? Sir, final call was made on 1st October. On that day, calls in advance balance? 0, sir. Calls in advance balance was 0. Very good. So that means, look here very carefully. From 1st April 2025 till 1st August 2025, you were having a balance of 3 lakhs with you. Correct or no? You are having a balance of 3 lakhs with you, on which we need to pay the interest. Correct or no? Yes. So from first August 2025 to first sorry from 1st April 2025 to 1st August 2025. See, we had balance when we had 3 lakh rupees balance on 1st April. And when was it adjusted? It got adjusted only on August 1st. So till there, we need to pay interest. How many months? April, May, June, July. Don't count August. Why? Because it is first. Correct? So April full month, May full month, June full month, July full month. So 4 months we have to pay interest. So can we calculate 3 lakhs into 4 months into 12% divided by 12? What is this 12? This 12% is for 12 months. How much is for 4 months? That is the interest. Okay. For this period. Next, again from 1st August 2025 to 1st October 2025, we had a balance of 1.2 lakhs. Correct or no? When did this 1.2 lakh become 0? On 1st October. That means till 1st October we were having balance of 1.2 lakhs. Yes, sir. Correct. So 1st October 2025, we had a balance of 1.2 lakhs. So 12% into August, September, 2 months. Don't count October. Why? Because it is first. So 2 by 12. Okay. My calculation is correct. Done. So this is the total interest you need to pay. So total interest is how much? 14,400. So we'll pass 2 journal entries, one journal entry on this date, one journal entry on this date. So on 1st August 2025, interest on calls in advance account debit 12,000 to if you are paying it, you directly give it as bank account. We are assuming that we'll pay it directly to bank, so we are giving bank. Otherwise you create sundry members. Clear? Again on 1st October 2025, same entry, no change, amount will only change. Interest on calls in advance debit 2,400 to, suppose here we are not paying on the same day, that time we'll do two sundry members. Then here we'll do sundry members account debit 2,400 to bank account 2,400. Put together has to be transferred to P&L. When will transfer? Suppose we are transferring on 31st March 2026. So what is the entry? P&L account debit to interest on calls in advance. Total 14,400. Okay, that's it. That is your Illustration number 3. I know it is very big sum, but it is very good sum where you have seen lot of adjustments. In the question, they are specifically telling they are paying the money on 12th October. So here we'll show it as to sundry members. And here we'll show total 14,400. No changes. Here instead of showing bank, I am showing it to sundry members. Okay. Please note it down. Please copy this. Actually big to take one screenshot. It will look very small. So what we'll do is we split it. So we'll first take this. Please take the screenshot of this. Done. Please take the screenshot. Then take this working note. Guys, if you are having any doubts in this question, please ask. I know it is little bit tricky and difficult. It is long question, but I want you to understand very clearly. If you are having any doubt, any stupidest doubt, please put it in the comment. Sir, if you say, sir, no, sir, I didn't understand anything. This part I didn't understand at all. You please tell me. I can repeat it. I can explain it to you again. But please ask if you are having any doubts. I know this is difficult. I know this is tricky, but it can be done. It can be understood. Or today, unknowingly or knowingly, we have celebrated Independence Day even on the book. I mean, even on the notes, right? Orange, green, white. Okay. Yes. Question number 4 is homework. Question number 4 is a homework. I'll just quickly go through the question. On Jan 2025, New Ventures Limited issued 1 lakh equity shares of 10 is payable as follows. 3 on application, 2 on allotment, first call, 2, final call, 3. 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 3, 10. It is issued at par. Applications were received on 15 January 2025 for 1.2 lakh shares and allotment was made on 1st February on 2025. Application for 50,000 shares were allotted in full and those for 60,000 shares were allotted only 50,000 shares, and applications for 10,000 were rejected. See, for 1.2 lakh application we have received, but how many shares we are giving? 1 lakh. So what they did, no, out of this 1.2 lakh, 50,000 applications accepted as it is. 60,000 applications they gave shares of 50,000. For 10,000 we rejected directly. So your excess application money will come only to this part. This money will be refunded. Clear? There will be no excess money for this. Balance of amount due on allotment was received on 15th February. The calls were duly made on 1st March 2025 and 1st April 2025 respectively. One shareholder did not pay the first call money on 3,000 shares, which he paid with final call together with interest at 10%. Another shareholder holding 2,000 shares did not pay the final call money till the end of accounting year, which is 31st December 2025. Show the cash book and journal entry. So all they are telling is, now we calculated calls in advance. Now you have to calculate calls in arrears. So see the dates and then you decide. So when was the calls made? The calls were made on 1st March. So first call was made on 1st March. Okay, and final call was made on 1st April. So on that, one shareholder did not pay first call money of 3,000 shares, which he paid with final call. That means this 3,000 shares are there, no? On this, he didn't pay first call money from 1st March. He didn't pay on 1st March. He paid when? He paid on 1st April. That means on 1st April, he paid first call as well as second call. That means he need to pay interest for 2 months. Sorry, 1 month. 1 month interest he has to pay. On what amount? On only first call amount. Second call was anyhow due on 1st April. Correct or no? Yes? Okay. Then another shareholder holding 2,000 shares did not pay the final call. He didn't pay final call when it was due from 1st April, and he did not pay till 31st December. So that means April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So till December you have to pay interest. Till December you have to pay interest. Clear? Please try to solve. It is a very easy sum, very quick sum, not so many adjustment as we see right now. Clear? Okay. Okay guys, that's it for today. Please guys, one more time I'm telling you, if you are having any doubts, any single doubt, please get back to us. Please don't at all. Then you can put it in the comments. If you are unable to put it in the comments, please search ProTree Academy on Google. You will get the number. You call them. You post your doubts there. They will update me and I will get back to you. Clear? Please don't hesitate. I know it is a little bit tricky. This chapter and the next chapter which we are discussing, partnership, both are a little bit tricky. But if you understand crux once, it will be very easy and you will remember it forever. Clear? Okay. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.